Good evening, everyone. Apologize there. It took me an extra second to get everything. I was rushing to sit down and almost knocked over my glass of water everywhere. And it's just one of those days. But I'm so happy to see you guys on here. Today, we are going to be doing something a little different. I like to switch it up every now and then. And today, I'm really excited about what I'm going to cover. It's actually been something that's been on, I'd say, my mind for probably about a month now. Shout out to my accountability partner that gave me the idea, and a couple of the leaders have mentioned something we're going to talk about as well briefly. So. But first, I actually want to just welcome everybody to the call. And today, I actually want it's going to be a part where I'm going to look for you guys to be interactive. So with that, of course, if you can, turn on your videos, and I'm actually going to be looking for some interaction, some responses. I'll be looking for you maybe even to chime in, unmute yourself, throw some messages into the chat, whatever it is. So if you can, and also if you can, go ahead again, message your team, message your other IBOs, anyone interested, because we're not only going to be talking about something today that's our services. It's going to really be something that's going to help us understand who we talk to, how we interact with each other. And it's something that I utilize when I'm looking at speaking to new business partners or people that I meet, or they ask me questions about, oh, ACN, what is that all about? So I'm really excited that I get to share this. Yeah, it's going to be a good time. So guys, definitely. Thank you guys for turning on your cameras. But I just want to go ahead and kick things off. But before I begin, I also want to give it back to all the leaders, everyone on the call, for taking the time on a Sunday evening to really jump on and learn. And Mr. Thomas, of course, thank you always for everything that you do, sir. Mr. Jabri Clemens, Mr. Jabri Clemens, thank you for everything you do, sir, and getting everything, and all the other leaders. So I'm really thankful for you guys, because you continue to inspire me each and every day. So I'm honored to be here to on this call with you guys. So let's go ahead and get into the training we have for today. So today, we're actually going to be getting into a training on how to successfully create and maintain a portfolio of customers. Yes, customers, no specific customers, nothing like that. So today, actually, the product, you would say, is people. Because without this business, without understanding people, it's hard to understand what to say to certain people, how to say it, understand what that person is looking for. Because in any relationship or conversation, what's important is really understanding where that person's coming from, where they are in their lives, timing when it comes to becoming a customer. And I'll share a few stories throughout it all, but one of the triggers that really led me to this, I was actually headed out to kind of an event with one of my new IBOs, and it was just kind of a social thing. We're just going to get a few people out just to share with everyone in a soft launch. Hey, we're looking to partner together. We'd love to get down and talk some details with you. But before we had that event, I actually was on the phone in my car 30 minutes before that event went on. I was in my car on the phone talking to someone in another city and just explaining to them just over the phone, hey, here's the slide pack, and walk them through it step by step. And it just dawned on me, because he said, okay, let me think about it. I said, okay, that's fine. And I of course, had a couple of responses, answered a few of his questions, and utilized, of course, the question of, well, what is the one thing that's preventing you from getting started today? And I asked that question. He said, you know what, I just need to situate some things in my life, and have a brief conversation with my wife. I said, okay, that's fine. And I followed up with him and I said, it's okay if I follow up with you in 48 hours? He said, yes, that'd be perfect. And when I followed up with him, he said between the time that we spoke and that 48 hours, there was a water burst that happened in his place. And I was just thinking, you know what? As much as I understand that he saw ACN as of value, he's actually even studying right now to get his real estate license. So he understands the business. He understands the value it can bring. But at that time, because he had some personal things happening at his house, I knew that wasn't the right time to talk to him. And I had to really take that in to say, hey, you know what? That's fine. Is there anything I can do to help you during this time? He said, no, I just need to get some things together right now, but but definitely touch base with me in a week. Once I get all this sorted out, my brain will be clear and things will be settled. And it really dawned on me, it's like, hey, we really have to think about who's on the other end of our conversation. In any conversation, there's a speaker and there's a listener, right? And so we really need to be cognizant of that. And that's what led me to this training. So I'm going to focus on, I just want to always reiterate this. Anywhere where you are, if you can focus in your marketplace on 2 to 3 services that suit your marketplace, just get familiar with the rest of them. It is the strongest thing you can do. And of course, as we're looking for customers, because we're talking about product training here, as we're looking for customers and asking our friends and family, always be sure to ask, favor, help, try. And I'm going to circle around on that at the end. So just stick with me. Now, what I'm going to cover today is personality types. Mr. Julian Lewis touched base twice in the last 2 weeks in his training, mentioning personality types, an urchin or a shark. And he mentioned this in his training. And he mentioned, hey, I don't have time to get into this because that's not the focus. But you know what? I use that as, let me go into those personality traits and share with you guys at least what I have, I know and what I'm aware of. And I know that there's so much more information on this, and there's all different personality tests and questions and interactions, things like this. But I'm going to focus on one of the styles, which is the one that Mr. Julian Lewis was discussing, which deals with, the urchins, the sharks, the dolphins, and the whales. Now, those are the 4 main personality types. There's 16 personality types total, but I just want to focus on the 4 because the majority of people most of their personalities fall within one of these groupings. Now, there are people that are combinations of them, but these are the 4 main types. And the purpose of this is to really enhance our communication skills by being able to identify the motivations and perspective of those around us, and also within ourselves. So we should understand what we find of value. How do we interact with people? How are we perceived by people? And that's what I want to go in. And while I'm going through this, I want you guys to just think about where you might fall in one of these categories and how you interact with people. So let's jump into the personality types. All right. So the 4 types, it's based on how do you respond first? Are you looking for facts first, or are you emotionally looking for kind of that emotional factor first? And then you cross that with how you think and make decisions. So for instance, I'm sure all of us have spoken to a family member or a friend. It's like, oh, let me think about it. You come back 2 weeks later, oh, I'm still thinking. You come back a year later, I just don't know. And it happens to all of us, customers and business partners. And we have people that were customers that eventually become business partners because it took them a little while to think through all of it, understand the detail. How did it happen when I renewed my service? So they get that information from some of those. And it's really how they perceive and receive information and interact with others. So I'll start with one of the first personality types, which is the urchin. The urchin, they are slow to think. They usually will talk slower, and they usually move a little slower, just usually. And this is all typical. Everyone's all different and personalities vary, but they also love their facts. And I'm going to go further into details with these. A shark. Your shark likes to think fast. You think of Mr. Thomas is the shark. He's always thinking fast. He's always moving fast. He's talking fast, but he also likes those facts. He wants to know it. He can recite facts and numbers like it's the back of his hand. Do you think about a shark? But then there's also the dolphins. They like the emotional side. They like fun. They like to enjoy themselves. They also move quickly and move fast in making decisions, because they're like, it's almost like they live the YOLO life. You only live once, right? They want to have fun. And then there's also the whales. So the whales, they're also a little bit slower in making those decisions, but it's about emotion. They actually really enjoy helping others. And so that's a big, strong personality trait of them. So now I'm going to go a little bit into these personality types. So I'll start with the urchin again. So with the urchin, their motivation is safety, security, and they're looking to expand their freedom, and they actually are control freaks. They like to know that things are under control. That's what they're motivated by. Now, other characteristics are they like to plan. These are going to be your preppers. You know, I know you probably have someone that's always planning ahead. These are typically those type of people, or they're logical thinkers. Well, because I went to the store, I know I have to get milk, and I'm going to have to get some bread too. But if I get bread, I'm going to need peanut butter or Vegemite. And then I'm going to need, they're going to go through these logical thoughts of what they need. They have a high moral standard, self-motivated. They're also very detail-oriented. And they get very, actually sometimes very complicated. So you think of someone that's like an engineer. They're very complicated, and they're difficult to get to know on a real personal basis. So I know we've come across people like this, and it's interesting. It's good to know these types of things when we interact with them. They'll also ask a ton of questions, and one of the key things here is they get agitated when their time or money is being wasted. So imagine you have a business partner that joins with you. They're so excited. But the next thing, they just couldn't get something off the ground fast enough. They might get frustrated. And that's something that we need to understand, that is what's going on in their body, their mind, and their heart. But then we need to also talk them through that, understand that, oh, they might have invested some time, they might have spoken to a few people, but hey, just keep going. There's going to be this challenges are going to happen. And so when you can talk to them logically and maybe even explain an example, it's, why are there different types? Let's go back to the milk example. Why is it that when you go to the grocery store, there's different types of milk? It's because the different types of milk apply to what people like and what they don't like. And there's different options. So just because someone didn't understand everything you said the first time, or didn't like it the first time, well, hey, that doesn't necessarily mean that they don't like it or that you're doing something wrong. There's just different options and different ways to say it, just like there's different options when it comes to different choices of milk or cereal and things like that. So I thought this was funny. I threw this in here, and it says these are also the people that will find typos on a website and call the company to let them know that there's an issue on the website. And it's true. They have that detail-oriented focus. But one of the challenges and struggles they have is they have a challenge getting really deep, meaningful relationships just immediately, typically. And they also can be perceived as loners. So even though that might be true, we have to understand that and give them that comfortability that we do understand who they are. And even though we might drive them to, hey, let's go to a big event where there's a lot of people. Oh, and then, well, how many people are going to be there? Well, who's going to be there? Understand that they're going to ask those questions, and that's okay. Next personality type, diving into it, is your shark. Now, the motivation is getting results. They are driven by status, recognition, wealth, and success. Characteristics of these personality types, they really only focus on the big picture. Big picture approaches to life, big picture approaches to business. They're not really interested in the details. They desire attention. They desire to get things done. They're also self-motivated and extroverted. And I'm sure we've had, PBZs with people or one-on-ones with people that are sharks. And you can just tell by the second slide, they're looking at their watch, checking their phone. They're probably focused on, so what's the bottom line? What are we doing here? What's the purpose? Let's get to it. What do you want out of me? What is it? What's the value for me? And we just need to understand that. So we might have to tailor our presentations to those types of individuals to focus on what is the result. Focus maybe more on the success. Maybe speak more about Mr. Thomas and working with him. And we have such a blessed position where we work with such a strong leader, not only in ACN, but in the industry as a whole. So utilize those conversations when you recognize you're talking to sharks. Also, they typically like to dress well. They like their nice cars, nice houses, and they like that. They're very status driven. Now, the challenges and struggles with these is that they can fall into a trap of becoming a workaholic. They can also be perceived as a bit aggressive and sometimes misunderstood because of how blunt they are, very direct. Like I said, okay, can we just get to the bottom line? What are we gonna do here? Okay, you want to save money on my services? Okay, great. Now, we have those types of those people that we interact with, but that's a challenge, but we just have to be aware of that. Now, the Dolphins, fun. I really like this picture of the Dolphins because I feel like it truly encapsulates at least what I envision Dolphins are. Fun, spontaneous, recreational activities. I always think of like a Dolphins laugh. I was actually gonna put in a little Dolphins laugh in here, but I say, you know what, everybody knows what the Dolphin sounds like. And I was gonna imitate it, but I'm like, nope, not gonna embarrass myself. But they just like to have fun. Characteristics are, they like to be the center of the party. Typically, they're not well organized, and this is all typical, of course, typically late, but socially loved. They're fun and outgoing, love attention, and they're high energy people. And the challenges with Dolphins are, sometimes they can come off as a little lazy. They might be the least motivated on the external out of all your group, out of all the groups, these personality groups. They may even have financial problems. And they're usually least prepared out of the least prepared types, but they enjoy life and physical pleasures that life gives. I just think Dolphins, it's all about the fun. So when we're talking to Dolphins, share with them the fun we had, the events, the laughter, the relationships that we develop through this, our calls, and we joke around and have a lot of fun. So this is some of the stuff that we should be sharing with the Dolphin once we recognize the Dolphins. Now, the last one here, the fourth personality I'll cover is the whale. With the whale, their motivation is they want the ability to make a difference. They want to be an agent of change. They want to save the world. And they're very helpful people. Their characteristics, they seek approval from others, actually. They are the most likable personality, and some might say they're the best friends because they're always there to help. They're compassionate. They love giving love to people. They're good caretakers. They love to volunteer. I don't know if you've ever been to an event and there's a challenge happening, and there's a leader on the first row that jumps up immediately once they see something, and they're going trying to fix everything. And so it's just one of those things. It's just that we see that. And that possibly might be the whale in the room. They do what it takes to get the job done because they have a real concern for the well-being of others. And you know what? They're social and nurturing, outgoing, typically extroverted. But they also have challenges, and their struggle is they often put the needs of others before their own. So we just need to recognize that when we look to those whales, when we see those whales, but we need to know that they want to be appreciated. They may help, they may give all this love and energy, but they need to know that they are appreciated. Because something as small as sending a little handwritten note, or giving them a random call, or even a voice message through your text, whatever it is, they just want to know that they're appreciated and valued. And even when they're a customer, just call them randomly and say, you know what? I know you've been a customer of mine for 3 months or 3 years, doesn't matter. I just want to tell you, thank you. I appreciate you so much. And they eat that up. They eat it up and they love it. So it's just kind of the four personalities here that I wanted to cover. Now, there's a lot more details, but I want to have some, kind of want to talk through a little bit of a summary here, but this helps with who to talk to and how to identify them. All these personalities have different needs, desires, and ambitions, And so when we talk to them about ACN or becoming a customer, we should be cognizant of this. And also note that even though most everyone is typically driven by one personality type, they could blend between 2 or 3 personalities, and it's a balance. It's a balance. People learn and develop over time, and they challenge themselves to be different and do different. So, and it's also rare to find people with one and not the other. So just also know that this is just a typical kind of description, personality types, but people balance and wane between different personality types, just depending on the situation. Now, I was going to cover a few things in further detail. But so this is what, this is fun because it starts looking into what do they like? You know, urchins, they like their facts, they like their rules. You know, what is an urchin? What would an urchin typically drive? Well, it's something that's well tested. It has, kind of can have a long history. It's gonna, they're gonna check and see what the repair, the repairs are on it, and they're gonna make sure it's dependable. And then you also think about, this is all ways that we can identify them. We're looking at what type of workspace would their office typically be. And, for an urchin, the workspace, it might be something that's empty, or it'll lack personal items. How do they dress? They like to dress neat, well-groomed, classy, nothing too crazy out of the way. But, your urchins, they also have their weaknesses. They take a long time to make decisions. So I have a little prop here. When we think about urchins, I typically think about Audi. Where is it? Audi. Audi is a German engineered vehicle. They've done so much research and make sure everything's so perfect. It's that German engineer, it's so good and solid and dependable, and so when we think about those urchins, think about those individuals that way. Some of their favorite questions might be, so why are you asking that? What do you mean by that? What relevance does that have? So that's another way that you can help identify them. Now, your shark. I do have a hat change here too. Your shark. This hat says, I'm not sure if you can see it, it says, never stop, never quit. And that's what a shark is. They're all about conquering goals. They're all about winning, strength, results, control, getting the job done. What do they drive? Something bold with power and authority. Their workspace, it's always furnished with the best furniture. Their furniture is so nice. But you know what? The chairs that are meant for you to come and sit in, they're not comfortable because they don't want you to stay long. How do they dress? Usually expensive. They like their labels, high quality. Their weaknesses, they hurt people's feelings, and they appear not to care, impatient. They appear cold. And their favorite questions, they're, what's in it for me? What's the bottom line? Remember I said, what's the bottom line? So think about that. Never stop, never quit. They're always going. And as I mentioned, they're sometimes, consider themselves that could be perceived as a workaholic. Now, hat change. The dolphins. So this one here, I don't know if you can see it. It is a hat from Australia, Furphy Refreshing Ale. So, Diane, you're laughing. This one, when you think about it, dolphins, they're about having fun. Let's have fun. Let's go to the bar. Let's go to the party. And they love meeting new people. They love talking to everyone. So they're very social. They're your social butterflies. What do they drive? Anything they like that fits their personality and their favorite color, bright colors. Their workspace, you probably identify them, but they just have a lot of stuff, a lot of personal items, souvenirs. Their desk reflects who their fun personality is, because their desk is their home away from home. Of course, they're dressing in colorful clothes. They may even have multiple patterns. They're the ones with the stripes, they have the plaid, and they also might have flowers, all in one outfit, right? So that's how you can identify those dolphins. And their weaknesses, they might come off as flighty, fickle, ditzy sometimes. And honestly, their favorite question is, hey, where's the party? What are we doing this weekend? You know, when's the next time we're gonna have some fun? When are we going to lunch? And so you think about that, then can relate to that. And that's why I like the little beer hat. Hat change. All right. And then the last one here is the whale. So this hat, it says humble. This is actually a company named Humble, but it's humble. The whales are ones that they love being humble. They're helpful. They're want to be accepted by others. Something they actually drive something that's safe. They don't really care much about the car reviews and is it dependable and repairs. No, they just want whatever works. At their desk at work, they might have lots of pictures of people that they care about. It might not even be their own children, but it's still people that they love and care about. They've got certificates actually representing their long service. I've been here for 15 years. They're usually organized. Hat change. And so they often, when they dress comfortable, they stick with it. You know, they don't deviate too much in their clothing. They're pretty, typical. They like their 5 shirts, just different colors, same brand, same size, it's all the same. And that's fine. Their weaknesses can be, hey, they go along to get along. So you really think you want to make sure that they're valued. They may believe in others' big dreams and sacrifice their own dreams. And they're also resistant to change. They like what's easy, what works. So sometimes we have to speak to them a little slower, help them get across the line with some of the ideas. And their favorite question is, can we all just get along? Or do you need any help? They're the ones that are there. So when you think about this, think about the hat, they're humble. So just wanted to go in that with my hat change and wanted to cover that. Now, and so now what I would love to do is I want to play a game. I want to play a game, guys. So again, if you can turn on your cameras or get ready to type into the chat, I greatly appreciate that because I would love for some interaction here. So let's play a game. I was going to actually put the other image of want to play a game, but I thought that might be a little scary. All right. So now we're going to play a game. Which personality type am I? Okay. When I went out to eat at a restaurant, I usually ask for opinions of others at the table. Sorry. When you think you might know it, just jump in, chime in. Usually ask for opinions of others at the table until someone helps me make a decision. And I often order the same dish as someone else I respect at the table. Who am I? Got a well, okay.
Dolphin.
Dolphin, okay, good. These are both good, yes. Anyone else? Well, okay. All right, Urchin, okay. Dolphin. So we've got a number, looks like the leading vote is well, 3, 4. Got a couple of dolphins and an urchin. Okay, let's see. It's a whale. Yes, so they will typically ask others. Actually, the funny thing is, this happened just tonight. My mother-in-law came over and, in-laws came over and just spent some time with us. And, we decided to order some food, didn't feel like cooking. And my mother-in-law, she's a nurse and she serves at the Veterans Hospital. And she's so caring and loving and always there to help. And she, we're like, hey, what do you want to eat? And the first question she asked is, I don't know. What do you want? What do you think I should get? I don't know. And so it just, all of this all came together full circle with me because it's so true. It happened. And then what she said was to my wife, she said, you know what, I'll just have what you're having. And I was like, this is really, really crazy. So it's so true. It's true. All right. Now let's do another round. Which personality type am I? When out to eat at a restaurant, I like to order something not on the menu. I select the most eccentric and expensive item. I already got a vote for a shark.
Urgent,
All right.
urgent, urgent.
Okay, we got an urchin vote. Okay, shark, okay. Next, dominate table conversations in between calls and texts. It's a shark. It's a shark. So great job, guys. So majority of you guys, okay. I see you guys. All right. Yes, shark. They want that they stand out, the power. They want to order something not even on the menu. They'll walk in and say, hey, are you guys carrying the bone-in ribeye, the 48 ounce? No? Okay, all right. Only 60 ounce? Okay, I'll take the 60. You know, they're already ready to order something that's not even on the menu. So, Daryl said or the duck. All right. Top shelf. Yes, top shelf, the most expensive item. Hey, you know what? When you go into a bar, you know that where's the most expensive liquor? Top shelf. Yes. All right.
Mr. Thomas.
Yes, Mr. Thomas. Hey, not everybody can have these. Get her done. Oh man, this is so much fun. This is fun. All right, I got another one. When out to eat at a restaurant, I am typically indecisive and go on a tangent discussing other things before deciding. Urchin, all right, we got to vote for an urchin. Dolphin, okay. And then it says, I am open to new and visually appealing dishes. Okay, so we got some votes. Dolphin. Mr. Taylor, what'd you say there? All right, so Mr. Foster, what'd you say there?
Dolphin,
okay, Dolphin. All right, Mr. Tasha she changed her answer, okay. All right. It's a dolphin. Yes, dolphin. Good job, guys, good job. Yes, a dolphin. They will love to discuss all these other things going on in life. And I want to tell you about how much fun I had at the event I went to and the party I went to. Oh, we're supposed to order something. Okay, but oh man, I remember the last time I had fish. Oh, fish. Oh, me and my friend, we did. And that's what they do. They just love having fun and talking about fun and connecting with people. So, all right, last one here, guys. Which personality type am I? When out to eat at a restaurant, I typically order the same dish since it's safe. Okay. I investigate the menu. All right, Natasha jumped in. Urchin. Investigate the menu at length. Yes, urchin. Yes. And it asks for various substitutions. Oh man, hey guys, I'm an urchin. I just want to let you guys know I'm an urchin. I need to see the menu. I'm looking at it. What's okay, third page, okay. I'm investigating it front to back. And I'm like, okay, so if you have extra feta cheese on that, I wonder if I could add extra feta cheese on this. Yeah, I'll ask that. You know, that's just, I'm an urchin. And it's so true. Again, example happened today. We're ordering this meal. And my wife asked, hey, I'm just going to order the standard bowls. It's like a Mediterranean place. And she said, I'm just going to order the standard bowls. And I'm like, but can I get the extra spicy sauce on it? She's like, no, it just comes standard. I'm like, so can I get a side of it? And it's so true. It's because this is we're asking for the very substitute or maybe something different. And so it's it's true. And I had all these slides made up before any of this happened. So, but thank you guys for interacting. I really do hope that this helped to help really identify when you're speaking and engaging with different personality types and how you may interact and most importantly, connect with them where they are. Because I think that's very important. But I couldn't leave you guys. I wanted to end it here, and I went about the 30-minute mark. But I want to do a did you know? Okay. Did you know people are people? It doesn't matter what personality type they are. People are people. They're going to do whatever they want, whenever they want. All these personality types, it's a way that we can try to connect. But ultimately, it doesn't really matter because people are people, and they're going to do what they want to do, when they want to do it, how they want to do it, why they want to do it, where they want to do it. And so it's important to understand that. Patience with people, or understand where people are in their lives, what's going on in their lives, because at all different times, it's going to respond and they're going to interact differently. So I just wanted to throw that little curveball in, because even though we know or thinks what type of personality trait they are, and we think they're going to respond a certain way based on what you do, you always have to remember that people are people. And there's always going to be a balance that they have in different personality types. So all in all, I say this to say, don't get frustrated. Don't beat yourself up because you've been working on a customer for months. I have a customer that just texted me this afternoon. I've been trying to talk to her for over a year now. She moved into a new house. So it would have been nice to just help her, set up all of her services at her place. She's been there for a year. I said, hey, I'll contact you in a year. So I contacted her in a year. This year, that year mark was 4 months ago. And she just sent me a text to say, oh yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot to send you my bills. It's on my list of things to do today. I'm not frustrated. I can't get frustrated because people are people. She has all of the things going on in life. And so you just have to remember, guys, hey, they're going to do what they want to do when they want to do it because people are people. So that's all I have for you guys. I don't know if there's any questions or anything you guys want to ask. I'm here. I'll take a couple of questions just right over the 30-minute mark. But yes,
Sir,
Mr. Sam Foster.
I've got to run to an appointment. This has been one of the most fun trainings I've seen. Would everybody agree that was a fun training? Very fun, very informative on the 4 personality types. And not only that, everybody, me want to close it out, but give everybody the address to what we're going to be doing next Saturday. And with that, I'll see everybody tomorrow morning with the Mr. Evans. I got an appointment I got to run to at Starbucks.
Ooh,
Thank you, Mr.
Thomas.
Some of us are in phase 1 here.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Foster? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Just had I guess, twofold situation here. Wanted to make a comment and I guess get your personal opinion when it comes to these different personality types. What is it, in your personal opinion, who are the people that you find the most when you're out there peaking people? I'm assuming this is all geared towards people that you run into when you peak. So my question to you as the speaker is, who are the people that you run into the most, and who would you consider to be your most challenging individuals out of the personality types?
Great question. So let's see. I would say probably the personality types I would probably run into the most are probably the urchins, because I think that I naturally can spot them a lot faster just because I know that I'm an urchin, and I sometimes spot them a lot faster. But I will say at the same time, your second question, who are the most difficult? The urchins. One, because I know. One, because they need all the facts. They need to know all the facts up front. They don't like their time wasted or their money being wasted. And so they have to see value, and almost have to see value immediately. And also they make their decisions very slowly. So, when we do our overviews and say, hey, is there, how we close it out, how are you asking, who's ready to get started? Let's go ahead and get started. Who's the type 1 person who's ready to get started with ACN and welcome to the team? It's typically not going to be your urchin, because they need to understand more of the details, more of the facts, more of the background, who represents the company and what do they look like. And so there's a lot there that, got to overcome. But I will say, on the other hand, the urchins, once they get, and I didn't cover this, but with the urchins, once they set their eyes and their goal and mission on them because they've done their due diligence, they are sold out. They're the ones that are going to fight tooth and nail till the end and make sure that it gets through and gets done. So it's kind of hard to get them there, but once they get there, they're going to make it happen. So I'd probably say the hardest ones I have are the urchins, because trying to create that value upfront so they understand and not waste their time. But thank you for that. Great question.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate your training. Very fun and informative. Thank you.
Thank you. Guys, I just want to say thank you so much for joining and interacting. I probably had more fun than you guys did. I didn't know how this was going to turn out. I was just hoping that people were on the call and would interact. So I just want to say thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. And I really do hope that it helps put personality types in a different perspective for you to think about them a little differently. But ultimately, don't get frustrated that some people may need some time or things like that, or get distracted or try to rush you through the information. Hey, people are people, and that is it. They're going to do what they want to do, when they want to do, how they want to do it, why they want to do it, where they want to do it, no matter what. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Look forward to catching you next week.